Hey everybody, today we have the Roland VR50 HD MK2, which is a great all-in-one AV console designed for the realities of live event production. On the left we have the audio section that can handle 4 mono channels as well as 4 stereo channels. Each channel has a select button for quick access to its channel parameters and routing options. We also have a solo button, a mute button, and a fader. You can push select again to get out of the menu. On the right side, we have the video source control. There are 4 inputs of video sources available, plus a channel that holds up to 4 still images. In the section labeled aux, we can choose what channel is going to the auxiliary output. We have composition controls for parameters such as picture-in-picture or keying, and farther up are various controls for things like transition type, time, as well as a freeze user logo and an output master fade button. The monitor is also a touchscreen and can accommodate several different views, such as the multi-view where you can see everything, an input view where you only see your inputs, a still view where you only see your stills, as well as an overall program output. I prefer to work in the multi-view, but I like the ability to reference the stills, inputs, or program as needed. On the back of the VR50, we see our mono inputs, our stereo inputs, as well as inputs for video, HDMI labeled 1 through 4, as well as SDI labeled 1 through 4. We have our SDI output program and aux, as well as a multi-view HDMI, program HDMI, and an auxiliary HDMI. You can use the program of each at the same time, or the auxiliary of each at the same time. This is going to be for connecting an external monitor so you can use your multi-view on a different screen. Now we need to connect our sources. We have a camera for our live shot, as well as a laptop that will provide PowerPoint and still images. Our first source will be the video camera that has both SDI and HDMI outputs. Because of the average length of the cable run between the camera and the video switcher, we opt to use the SDI output. Our show laptop that will host our PowerPoint and provide our still images can be connected via HDMI cable. On the back of the console, plug your SDI cable into the input number that corresponds with the input you would like to work with. In our case, I would like the camera to appear on input 1, so I will plug it into SDI input 1. Since input 1 is being used as SDI for our camera, we want to plug in our laptop's HDMI cable into input 2 on the HDMI side. Now that your sources are connected, we need to make sure that they appear on the proper channels. The fastest way to do this is to press the Input Assign button. Pressing this button will bring up a quad view of all of your inputs and highlight the active port. On channel 1, we plugged in the camera, and we want that to be SDI. Now, the camera appears on the SDI port of channel 1. For the laptop, we plugged in HDMI channel 2. So we'll highlight HDMI channel 2 and bring the laptop in. Press the Input Assign button to exit the menu. At this point, you can begin sending sources to your output. Your output can be monitored in this top right corner labeled PGM for program. You can dial in a transition type just to see how things will transition between slides. We'll send SDI1, which is our video camera, and now we can transition to the PowerPoint. We can make the transition very long. We can change it to a wipe, or we can make a hard cut. Now we are going to do what's called an output capture to populate our still image bank. In order to do this, we want to make sure that the VR50 is outputting the graphic that we want to see. In this case, we have a please enjoy a brief intermission for a live stream that will be taking an intermission, and we don't want to live stream an empty stage. Now that the VR50 is outputting the correct graphic, we can push Menu, click Capture Freeze Logo, make sure that the output capture is highlighted to the program output, and that we want our still number 1 to be filled. Press Execute. The VR50 will process the image and put that into still bank 1. Now we can exit the menu So as the show ends on our live camera and someone is about to walk off stage, we can quickly go in and say, go to still number 1. That way, whatever is happening on camera or on the laptop won't be seen on the program output.